What's up, guys? I'm Des. This is Chris. This is Ryan. And welcome to The Up.
This is my perfect victory! That's right!
The NFL draft is coming up tomorrow. We Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but the big day is tomorrow, round one. So I think without further ado, we're going to get straight into our top 15 picks. You want to take us away?
So what we kind of have set up for you guys is we're all going to give up our top 15 projections, our mock drafts, if you will. We expect the teams to do within the first 15 picks. We're going to break down our first five, and then we'll speed it up a little bit for 6 through 15. But if you want, I can start us.
Yeah, take us away.
I mean, the first overall pick is going to be pretty simple. I think everyone's going to be in agreement on it. But I'll start. My number one overall pick, Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to go after their quarterback for the future, who they believe to be their quarterback of the future. 99% of the country or world or NFL fan base can agree. Fernando Mendoza will be picked number one overall. The Raiders. That's who I have in my mock draft. And let's hear what you guys have.
Still have.
Yeah.
You go, Ryan. You go.
Nah, I got Mendoza in the going one, too.
I think it's pretty clear cut. Mendoza's going one as long as the Raiders maintain that number one pick. For some unforeseen reason, they get rid of it, and no one can predict. As a number one safe pick, solid pick. They've known the guy since pre-national championship.
Absolutely. The number two, the second pick. This is where it kind of starts to get somewhat dicey. I really think that the draft starts with pick 3. I think that you could see a little bit of hesitance. Second overall pick, it might take a little while for the Jets to make this pick. My overall analysis for this is that Aaron Glenn, head coach, he's going to be looking to pick somebody who can fill in, not be a project, because he's kind of on the hot seat. He can't really wait around to handle a project. So I have him taking the more polished edge rusher in David Bailey. He spent more time at this position. He is what I believe the favor to be picked number 2. And as I said, Arvell Reese is very, very talented, but I do believe David Bailey is the more polished, experienced player at that position that the Jets need. Why Aaron Glenn doesn't have time to wait for a project, will pick David Bailey and put him in that 2 slot.
All right. Yeah. Jets, number 2 overall. I have the exact same thing. I got them taking David Bailey. I think David Bailey, coming off of a 14.5 sack season, shows a lot of promise. I also have Arvell Reese also being that guy that can come in, but, as you said, a project. I think David Bailey is more NFL ready, and I think he is going to be the guy that they're going to take with their first round pick.
I went a little bit different of a direction. Did have him taking Arvell Reese at number 2. And he is that hybrid edge rusher. And that's a good point that Aaron Glenn is on the hot seat. I think also on the flip side, you got to look at how athletic, how much of a hybrid DN guy Arvell Reese is. And in the future, the Jets ownership would rather have Arvell Reese potential. I do think safe bet is always a good bet for the Jets. That's not where they go oftentimes. I think a coach for the Jets like Aaron Glenn have as much say as other coaches. So I think taking Arvell Reese, slightly more talented, not as polished, but a higher ceiling, way the Jets are going to go.
I like that a lot. Number 3, this is where it starts to get kind of making a little crazy. All right. Have Cardinals trading their third overall pick, as I don't believe Arvell goes second. So Cardinals can leverage this position and the player that we know Arvell Reese can be to get value out of it. So I believe a team, it's not going to be a far move. I believe the Titans up from 4 to 3, Robert Saleh being their head coach and defensive minded, being that player that he knows he can turn into something special, will take Arvell Reese number 3 overall to his defense for the Titans, bring in that special piece that he needs off the edge that he can develop into what he to make. So I have Robert Saleh and the Titans trading up to 3 with the Cardinals to draft Arvell Reese.
The Cardinals are kind of in a spot where they have a lot of needs. So they are a team that I could see trading out as well. But I do have them taking Arvell Reese. I don't think they do trade out. I think that if you take Reese and you pair him up with Josh Sweat, that 1-2 punch is going to be something that the Cardinals can build their defense on and have a identification with. right? An identity built off of that D line. So I think Cardinals are obviously a trade away Kyler Murray. So that quarterback position is going to be a problem that I think they're going to handle next year. So I think right now you're just stacking up your defense as far as the Cardinals go for
Yeah,
next year's draft. That's
absolutely.
why I got 3.
David Bailey. I mean, Arvell Reese is already off the board for me, so I think David Bailey is the next guy. Premium position, especially in today's age where you got guys like Miles Garrett or game changers. You kind of want to replicate that. TJ Watt, it's their game changer position. Premium position, premium player, guy who's proven he has very polished. What you're getting out of him, cut on the board in terms of positions, believe they need. David Bailey's their guy.
Love it. Into number 4, my number 4 overall pick. As you know, I have the trade happening. So the Cardinals move back 1 slot. This gives them time to recoup and rethink where they want to go with this. Now that those edge rushers are off the board, move into a different area for them and their team. Believe they want to secure that right side of their offensive line. Have Paris Johnson Jr., who's done really well at the left tackle position. They want to secure that right side. Going to move with Francis Magua. Going to take him early. Believe that's a little bit sooner than most mock drafts might have him, but I do believe that they need to secure that right side of their offensive line. They're going to stick it out with James Conner. They're going to try to give Brissett maybe a quarterback they draft in this year's draft. That's still an option because we know a lot of the quarterbacks will go later, likely, just to secure that offensive line and allow them to a little bit more protected on that side.
All right. Number 4, no trades. I have Titans. I think the Titans are going to, I think they're going to take Jeremiah Love here. I think they're going to bring in that running back for Cam Ward. And I think Love is going to be that guy that can come in right away and just take that RB1 position and just run with it. So that's why I got a 4.
Intended. No pun intended. Have Jeremiah Love going for. I think we've talked about this in previous pods, how that running back in the first round is such a risk. Also,
Huge risk.
Not be worth the value. A guy like Jeremiah Love he's a great player. He's gonna be a great player. And whether or not you think the value's there or not, same with like a guy like Mendoza. Maybe he's not the greatest, prospect or number 1 prospect in this draft, but the guy you're gonna kind of look at and be like, I know he's gonna be great. I mean, he's an offensive centerpiece, will allow more to show off more of his skills. I do think an O-line help that too. The running back can also help that in the same way. I think they're gonna take him. He's gonna kind of give him a little bit of a boost, be a fast changer, help that reach a playoff. I don't think so, but nonetheless, I do think they're taking him regardless.
One thing I'll hit on with the Jeremiah Love, just general basis from what I've looked at, what I've studied, look back at all these first round top running back draft picks. Take a look at what those players are currently doing for the teams that drafted them. Christian McCaffrey, do we know what he's currently doing for the Panthers? Is currently playing for another team. Saquon Barkley, know what he's currently doing for the Giants? He's beating them on another team within their division. Gil Elliott had a couple of good years. Make it. Leonard Fournette didn't last very long with the Jaguars. Got a guy like Derrick Henry. I know he was a 2nd round pick. Very well for the Titans and brought them to an AFC championship game. Worked out, but that was a 2nd round pick. Looking at all these first round guys, and they're ultimately ending up being on other teams succeeding because they're not panning out. So that would be my advice to the Titans. I wouldn't follow suit the recent trend of drafting running backs very, very high. But moving into my 5th overall.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I do think a lot of times getting a running back in that early first round, that's the next guy's problem if you don't want him. Because me as a GM, I want him. And I think that's not inherently a good thing. That's just what's happening where the tides are changing, where they're like, actually, we don't really need a running back. They change their mind, or the ownership or GM decision-making changes.
Well,
they go, next guy's problem.
And then,
so there's different ideals.
Look at last year. Like, who was the first team to draft a running back last year?
It was Ashton Genty.
Yeah, and what pick do they have this year?
Number 1.
Go. So it's not like it's making a huge difference. A running back can be fantastic, and we saw it with Genty. A running back can be phenomenal. They don't have an offensive line to open up holes. Doesn't really work out. As we saw from Genty, very, very slow start to the season. All right, Moving on to number 5. Number 5, this one I have another big trade. I have a team that's looking outside the top 10 that wants to move up and the player that they believe can be a key centerpiece of their defense. So I have the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, trading up with the Giants, number 5 overall pick. Giants drop back from 5-12, and they also get the 20th overall pick from Dallas. So they're going to have the 10th, the 12th, and the 20th overall picks in the first round. So the Cowboys can move up into the top 5 to take their guy, Sonny Styles.
All right, let me tell you why that's not going to happen. The Cowboys will not trade with a in-division rival, so I don't see the Giants trading out of this pick, at least not with the Cowboys.
Did the
I
Giants
do
not
have.
trade Saquon to Philly?
Hey, new leadership, coach.
It's a little different. Philly's a little different than Cowboys.
Okay.
No one's going to willingly help the Cowboys out.
I mean, that they're both winning out of that. They're both getting the
Yeah, but like, look how much that you're going to have to pay more to trade with an in division than you would with out of division, in my opinion. But going number 5 for the Giants, I have them taking Sonny Styles. I think making that trade to send Lawrence to the Bengals. I know they're not the same position, but you're still going to need those defensive pieces. And I think Sonny Styles solves that linebacker position. And I think that will help the Giants defensively. You bring in a guy who's, in my opinion, NFL ready and a good leader to run that defense.
Overall pick, basic, but Caleb Downs. I think that's a can't miss guy. And he.
I'm telling you, he's smart, man.
I think he takes Caleb Downs. If you're smart, you take Caleb Downs.
You'll see what my mock goes to. All right,
No,
guys.
bro, I think you're going to have the exact same thing I have.
We're going to kind of go speed it up a little bit.
I think, yeah.
Pick 6 through 15. Browns pick at 6. I have the Browns kind of continuing with their history of kind of not really sure what they're going to do. There's a lot of needs that they have. And I think they're going to kind of throw a curveball at people with Magua being taken off the board at number 4. The Browns taking Monroe Freeling, of lineman, Georgia, at number 6.
All right, number 6 for the Browns, I have them taking Francis Magua, offensive lineman. I think you have Shedeur Sanders, in my opinion, coming in and being that starter. I think between him and Watson, you're going to have a battle. But either way, no matter who starts, you need a guy to protect him, and I think this guy can come in and do it.
6, let's take Carnell Tate. You need a true wide receiver 1. I may think he's overhyped, but he's a big guy, elite athlete. Take him.
It does. On to number 7 is where I have the running back going off the board. My love falls to the Commanders. That is too good for them to pass up on. They need a weapon to go alongside Jaden Daniels. They need to fill that running back position. He can do, he's the elite speed, elite power. He can do it all. I think he's a very tremendous player. I just don't believe in drafting a running back very, very high. However, I still believe he will go top 10. Have Jeremiah Love going to the Commanders at number 7.
All right, number 7 at the Commanders, I have them taking Mansour Delane, quarterback out of LSU. I think securing that secondary is something that the Commanders are gonna lock in on this draft. I think they have the pieces to do some damage, and I think that cornerback position is just one that they have the biggest hole in on defense.
Number 7 overall pick, I have the Commanders taking Sonny Styles. Teams will see it as a steal. He's a freak athlete, a positionless linebacker. I think he's a good steal. Great pick. Wow.
On to number 8, something about Saints and drafting Ohio State wide receivers, where this is where it makes sense. They need a receiver. I have the Saints drafting Carnell Tate, a very good counterpart to Chris Olave in his style of play. They get a big body in there who can make contested catches and get open with great route running and really good efficient hands. So I have the Saints going with their trend of Michael Thomas, Olave, Carnell Tate.
At number 8, I have these Saints also taking Carnell Tate. I was torn between them taking him or Tyson at Arizona State. But ultimately, I think when you look at a wide receiver that can come in and make plays, you're going to go with the guy who made plays at a championship level, and that's Carnell Tate.
At my 8th spot, I have New Orleans Saints taking Magua. On my board, he's still available. Still, I'm going to protect your quarterback.
Nice. On to pick number 9. This is where the Chiefs, I'm not that the Chiefs will be staying at 9 for their pick. I've moved back. They can move up. They are a position where they can do either one very easily. They do pick at 9 of them. aggressively going after a cornerback to fill the 2 corners that they've lost to the Rams so far this offseason. And I have them drafting Mansour Delane. I think he fills a need that they need. Spagnuolo can really turn him into something special as he's done with his corners in the past. So I have Mansour Delane with his elite speed, elite covering ability, going to the Chiefs at 9.
All right. Chiefs at 9. I have them taking Ruben Bain. I think they need that pass rusher that can line up right there with Chris Jones, and I think that is going to be their best bet. But if something happens and Ruben Bain gets taken off, I could very well see the Chiefs trading back at this pick.
And spot you've already touched on. I do have the Chiefs taking Mansour Delane. It fills in a very elite cornerback spot where they're lacking right now. So
absolutely. So this is where I get into the kind of masterclass of John Harbaugh. I believe John Harbaugh is able to trade back, get more picks, and still get the guy he wanted from the start. A guy who's falling, a guy who's been on the high list, but will ultimately fall to the Giants. And he will draft Caleb Downs, his signature piece for his defense for years to come. I think will be a pick for me, draft and a top move by Harbaugh, really, for the entire draft.
You had the Giants trading back the 5th, right?
So they move back from 5, they get 12 and 20, and they keep their 10 that they got from Cincinnati.
Okay. So I had the Giants taking Sonny Styles. I think that Ohio State name is going to be pretty common as far as the Giants because I also have them at 10 taking Caleb Downs to pair with Sonny Styles on that defense. So that's what I got.
different route. Number 10, I have the Giants taking Tyson. At an offensive weapon, I think he's a bit underrated in terms of not under-talked about in this draft. And I think the Giants would love to have another receiver piece help complement Malik Neighbors, Jackson there.
Very good pick. Moving on to 11. This is where we have the Dolphins, I believe, slotted. Think they need to in a new piece, departure of Waddle. Have them taking who they believe will be their centerpiece, and it's not going to be the receiver you just named. It's actually going to be Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon going 11th overall to the Dolphins. I think they will his potential, see what he's able to do on the field. I believe he won the Biletnikoff last year. He will be taken in that 11th overall spot.
11th, I got the Dolphins taking Spencer Fano out of Utah, offensive lineman. I think that the Dolphins are also another team that are banking on next year's draft. So you probably are going to take a quarterback next year. So the only thing you can really do this year is beef up that O-line and try to get some weapons for what you have coming soon.
Just check my notes. So I have the Miami Dolphins taking Keldric Faulk, number 11. I think he is a major steal. I think he is a very, very elite pass rusher who was kind of overshadowed by the poor performance team he played on. And I think Dolphins will realize that and take him.
Pick. I like it. All right. So speaking of the mastermind of John Harbaugh, he falls and gets that 12th overall pick. It's Jordan Tyson, the receiver, 12 instead of 10, and is able to get a elite caliber safety as well as pair that with a very talented offensive weapon he can put alongside Malik Neighbors, give Jackson Dart more weapons, and secure the back end of his defense in 2 picks.
All right. 12, I have them taking Akeem Mesidor edge out of Miami.
Taking this for you?
Yes, Dallas. They're getting a edge rusher and somebody that is going to fill in where they lost Micah Parsons. Sorry, I did not have the team written down.
No, you're all good.
Great.
The number 12 spot, I have the Dallas Cowboys do what Dallas Cowboys do best and reaching and getting Ty Simpson, number 12.
What?
I don't love it.
No.
Quarterback?
The quarterback.
What?
I think this is
No,
that
this
reach
is crazy.
is.
Are we just self-destructing on Dak?
I think you are going to put a guy behind Dak for maybe a year or until he gets hurt in months. Taking Ty Simpson.
All right. Fair enough.
Reach.
I agree, but I think
That is crazy. Did not expect that. All right. Number 13, I got the Rams, where the receivers that they would have picked in this slot are gone. I don't think they're going to trade up for a receiver. They do have Puka. They do have Devontae Adams. There is no opinion necessity for a receiver that's required to trade up for. I have them taking Spencer Fano, offensive lineman, to better protect Stafford to keep him around as long as possible. I know Sean McVay wants to do that, keep him protected, keep him safe, keep him upright as long as he can to keep him around and keep the success up for the Rams. So I have them taking Spencer Fano at 13.
Oh, at 13, I got the Rams. I'm really torn on which way I'm leaning. I could see Rams being a team that trades out of the first round or trades back. I don't think there's anybody that they really need at 13, whereas they can lean back and get somebody that they want later in the round. But I also have the idea of them taking Jordan Tyson. I think with Devontae Adams' contract expiring at the end of the year, I think that you're going to come in and have a guy play that wide receiver 3, and you're going to have him ultimately take over Devontae Adams' spot when he leaves in free agency.
And at the 13 spot, Rams go and get a defensive player to solidify their D-line, and they go take Peter Woods, a guy who I believe also dropped on a few boards for his performance and more for the disappointment of his team. So I think he's still going to base true to his values. Stick out with Peter Woods.
14, I have the Ravens. It's kind of a weird pick here, a little weird slot for the Ravens. Nobody really knows the Ravens are going to do. I do believe that more than likely this pick will be the Penn State offensive lineman. I don't know how to say his name. It's kind of a weird one. That is what I've heard most people say. If he's there, they're taking him. However, I do have Kenyon Sadiq, tight end position, going to the Ravens. I think that is an elite freak athlete at his position. I think Lamar Jackson would absolutely love an end of his caliber at that position. We know that there's kind of been a drop off with Mark Andrews, his playing ability of the past, as well as we know that they cost him against the Bills a few years ago in the playoffs. So I think Kenyon Sadiq's pick is something Lamar Jackson will be happy about, want to stick around for, and will utilize very well, as we know he likes to throw the ball to the tight end.
14, I have Ravens taking a very much needed wide receiver in Mekhi Lemon. I think for the last 3 or 4 years, all I've been hearing is Lamar needs help, Lamar needs help, Lamar needs help. Every year he gets help, but apparently it's never enough. So I think they quadruple down and take another offensive weapon for Lamar Jackson.
Ravens at 14, taking Alova, I can't say it either.
Yep,
Vega Ione
Yep.
out of Penn State. What are you getting out of him?
It's like I said, when you don't know how to pronounce stuff, you just got to say it with confidence.
Let it rip. Let it rip.
So this jumps to our 15. This is another weird pick. I have 3 guys that could easily go at this. I believe Ruben Bain will fall. I think with what we've had come out before this draft is shorter arms up as a topic of discussion for him. He will fall. This is where the Bucs have to choose between Keldric Faulk, Bain, Akeem Mesidor. Defensive weapon do they want to put in to their defense? The 3 I think would be in picks at 15. I do have Ruben Bain finally coming off the board at 15 to the Bucs. I think he stays in South Florida. Will go to Tampa Bay. Not a very far move for him. It makes sense in this slot. However, Bucs choose not to deal with the drama or what might come from Ruben Bain. I think that a Akeem Mesidor pick here would make a lot of sense, and I could see him teammate going at 15 to the Bucs.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about the Ruben Bain drama that's been going on. I think there are gonna be a lot of teams that probably pass up on that. But 15, I got the Bucs replacing, I believe it's Mike Evans. They lost in free agency, right?
To San Fran, yeah.
Yeah. So I do believe Mike Evans gets replaced by Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. Do I think this is going to be a great pick for the Bucs? No, but I think they're going to try to find that replacement to help out Baker Mayfield. That's 15 for me.
Get the 15 spot. The Bucs need a guy who's polished, kind of, you know what you're getting out of him, a little older, and so I think it is going to be a short little move for Akeem Mesidor. Beef up that defense in a division where having a defensive piece that's ready to go. I'm going to say he's going to replace Levante David. Because 1, different positions, but 2, Levante David's like that. I think they need someone in that edge to linebacker room, help them get over the edge and possibly win a division. Not that many wins.
A great job, guys. Really enjoy hearing everybody's mock draft. What we will do is we will have to make sure you keep your mock draft up tomorrow as we hear all the picks and kind of do a check or incorrect, see who got the most right for their top 15, and then we'll show everybody for our next episode. But think everybody did really well. I enjoyed hearing everybody's breakdown and analysis.
Likewise, I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Let's go. One more day.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on all platforms. We got much more coming. As always, we'll catch you on the up.